Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, part 3 of my video series on my year-long mental health experiment. I'll start with my disclosure, little bit of truth. This is everything I'm talking about here is my personal experience. It is not medical advice. I cannot tell you what your experience will be like, nor can anyone tell you what your experience should or will be like. I'm sharing my experience in an effort to start a conversation, maybe provide a little therapy for myself, but also just to, let some people know they're not alone if they need to. So with that being said, today, what I want to talk about is 3 things, little bits and pieces of things that have popped into my head over the last day. This will probably be the last, day in a row that I'm going to do this. I do need to get back to sharing my insights and knowledge for my mompreneurs out there, but that doesn't mean I won't be doing more videos in this series. It just means that I won't necessarily be popping in every day. They will, as things come to me, I will definitely be here to share. So the first thing I wanted to dive into today is the idea that you are your best advocate. Okay. One thing that I truly believe in is one of the most empowering beliefs that you can have is that no one is coming to save you. You will save yourself. Okay. The hero you've been waiting for is you. Because when it comes to mental health and a mental health journey, mental wellness journey, you have to speak up for yourself. No one can tell you your experience, and no one can know your experience the way you know it, because it is such a personal thing. No two mental health journeys are the same, and they are all valid, no matter how different they are. Everybody's experience matters as it pertains to them, and you need to advocate for yourself. So if you want, to be on medication to help you with something, you have to advocate for yourself. If you want to be on different medication or less medication or get off your medication, you have to advocate for yourself. It was interesting. I was listening to an audiobook by Dr. Caroline Leaf, Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess. And there was a part in it that she was talking about how when it comes to the medical field, mental health is the one area where your choice can be taken from you, right? If you have diabetes, cancer, any other, disease of the body, you can choose to decline treatment. If you have a mental health challenge that you're working through, or are feeling mentally unwell, someone can force you onto medication, or they can put you on a 72-hour hold, or any number of things. And when it comes to mental health, we decide at a certain stage that someone isn't making good decisions for themselves and effectively can take their decision making, their choice away. And I am a big fan of choice. I like to choose, right? It's like, it's something I think about a lot. I'm like, you know what? Once I know what's bothering me, whether it be, a food allergy or intolerance, or, a trigger or something, when I know that I have something, I can now choose how I want to respond to it, right? I can find out I have a gluten intolerance and choose not to eat bread or to eat gluten, right? If I'm like, I really like that cake and gluten only upsets my tummy a little bit, I'm going to choose to have it. Like, we can choose our outcomes. And so you need to be an advocate for yourself in that you need to exercise your choice, right? And if people aren't listening, get louder, get support, find someone else. Like, I was talking to my my mental health support person, Wonderful man. He's, helping me through this journey. And, when we were talking about me wanting to get off my medication, he's like, well, have you talked to your doctor? And I said, no, but I imagine it'll go well. She's pretty good. And if she's not, then I'll just find a new doctor. And that's the thing, is you don't owe anyone your choice, like the freedom to take away your choice. If someone is not supporting you in your journey, then choose new people, right? And I know that can rub people the wrong way, because we often think we know better than for someone else, right? We think we know what they need to do to be fixed, but people aren't broken. Okay. And it's not our job to fix anyone, and it's not anyone's job to fix us. And while we might not like the choices that they're making, it is their life journey. They get to choose. And if we don't like the choices they're making, then we need to remove ourselves. And the same thing goes. If you're making choices for yourself and other people aren't supportive, or then find other people. And it sounds harsh. It really does. But no one has ever healed themselves, or no one has ever gotten quote unquote better for someone else. This goes with mental health. This can go with addiction recovery. This can go with any number of things. And before you challenge me on it, please know I have been there. You do not get sober for anyone else. You do not get mentally well for anyone else. You do not get physically well. You do not lose weight. You do not get healthy. You do not do anything for someone else and have it stick. You do it for you. You have to love yourself enough to want something for it to stick. And we have to let people go on their own journey to discover that love and make the changes that will make them well. We can't make those changes for them. And that's why a whole lot of this is hard, right? Because we want everybody to be happy and well, but we can't make people happy and well. No one is broken. They're on a journey. They're on their life journey. And we have to love people enough to let them go on their journey and grow and learn and do the things they need to do, whether we like it or not. And we have to advocate for ourselves to go on our journey, even if people don't like our journey, right? Because it's our journey. It's not theirs. And real love to me is loving someone enough to let them do what they need to do for themselves, right? Even if it looks like hurt, and even if it looks like pain, and even if it scares the hell out of us. It's their journey. We don't get to take that away from them, right? So big, I guess, long story concluded. You are your best advocate. You are your only advocate, and you need to advocate for yourself. Whatever choices you are making, they're yours. And if people aren't supporting them, find people that will. And if you are on the downward side of the journey and you need to hit the bottom before you can start back up, well, then find people that will support you as you find out where the bottom is, because you build from a strong foundation, and that foundation is often at the bottom, right? So advocate for yourself. You're entitled to it, right? You don't need to be worthy of advocating for yourself. You're born worthy. And if you need someone to remind you that you were born worthy, call me up, shoot me a message on Facebook. And I will remind you every day that you are born worthy, and that you do not need someone else to tell you that you are worthy of advocating for yourself and worthy of the life journey that you want to have. Okay. Use the experience to do the work. I mentioned this a bit yesterday, and I want to touch on it a bit more. One thing that I have found is that, and not just in this journey, right? It's kind of funny, but you can find it in relationships. You can find it in any place that you temporarily pause negative feelings or negative emotions or negative trauma responses, where you pause them in some way, whether it be through medication, through, finding a partner, through finding a hobby or healthy addiction, anywhere where you pause a negative feeling and you feel better, but you don't do the work while you're feeling better. Once the thing that paused that goes away, it will be there waiting for you. And I promise you that. So for me, I can probably tell a lot of stories about times when, either I replaced, an unhealthy addiction with a healthy one, an unhealthy obsession with a healthy one, or this time, took anti-anxiety medication, and that paused the bad feelings, right? So I didn't feel judged anymore. I didn't worry if people didn't like my decisions. But I didn't, in the past, I didn't do the work to address where those feelings came from, right? And so when I moved on to something else, or the healthy choice dissipated, the feelings were still there. And so one thing that I think medication can be very useful for is pausing the intense negative to give us room to breathe and do the work, right? So if you are suffering from crippling anxiety, due to, say, for me, fear of not being found good enough, let's say, judgment, thinking that every time somebody called, asked a question, thought differently than me, that meant they were judging me. When that all paused, I needed to do the work, right? Dig in and find out, why did I feel that way? Now that I'm not feeling negative, why do I feel that way when people, ask me these questions? Why do I feel like I always have to fight back, stand up for myself, prove a point, show them I'm good enough? Why do I feel that way? And it's one thing that I found medication very helpful for, was giving me the space to do that work, right? Because when you're gripped by anxiety or depression or fear or panic or, anything, it can be really hard to do the work because you can't break out of the, rumination or the negative thought loops or anything like that to actually look at it from a, helpful and questioning way. And so when you find something that helps break that cycle, whether it be medication, talking to a friend, exercise, meditation, mindfulness, eating chocolate cake, whatever it is, right? I'm not here to judge your coping mechanisms. I am here to say, when you have a coping mechanism and it temporarily alleviates those feelings, use that time to dive in and say, why? Why do I feel that way? And if you don't know why, there's nothing wrong with getting someone to help you figure it out, right? Like I said, I am a big fan of therapy. I love therapy. I love coaches. I love mental health professionals. I love people that are there to help other people dig in. Because when you use that brief reprieve or the long reprieve or whatever reprieve it is to do the work, then afterwards, they're not waiting for you. There's no big party sign saying, welcome back, welcome to anxiety, or welcome to depression, because you do the work and you develop tools and skills and techniques and new patterns and new stories and new beliefs so that you don't have to feel that way all the time. Because the choice is, you don't have to do the work. And here's the thing, again, choice, you don't have to do the work, but it will be waiting for you. And if you're okay with that, then that's okay, right? But just know that it's there, because, it's one thing to just be like, I don't want to be medicated anymore, I'm getting off my medication. And then when those friends are there and they come back to meet you and say, remember that time in 5th grade when you screwed up and everybody laughed at you, and the anxiety starts again, you're going to wish you had done the work when you had help, right? So, it took a long time for me to be able to show up on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, anywhere, and say anything authentically. let alone on the weekend when my hair wasn't done and I was wearing the same shirt I was wearing the day before, because I thought that I needed to be perfect and a certain way to be here. But that's what doing the work looks like, right? You get to love this person, not despite the flaws, but because of the uniqueness. So do the work. I got a little kid staring at me through a door. So I'm just going to get to the last part here. Yes, in 15 minutes. Okay. So the last one, I'm just finishing up my video. Okay, bud? Yeah. Please don't play with fire while I'm doing it. Okay. My son's going to play with fire beside me. So the last part that I want to touch on, oh, thank you, is that you are worthy no matter what, right? You're worthy of feeling better. You're worthy of your experience. You're worthy of being understood. You're worthy of being supported. You are worthy of being heard. You are worthy of showing up. You are worthy of not showing up when you don't want to. You are worthy of privacy. You are worthy of like celebrity. You are worthy of whatever you want right now. You were worthy before you listened to me. You were worthy the day you were born. You are worthy of help if you want it. You are worthy of support. You are worthy of judgment-free support. There are no conditions. There are no caveats. There's no prerequisite. You don't need to be or do or have anything before you are worthy. You are worthy right now. And if you are in a bad place and feeling bad and dealing with anxiety or depression or self-loathing or any number of things, you're worthy of feeling better. You're worthy of loving yourself. You are worthy of loving yourself no matter what. Buddy, I'm trying to like have a moment with people here. Can you take that outside? Sorry. Life with kids. But you deserve the best life, and you deserve the life of your dreams. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says. And even if when I say you are worthy, a million buts come into your head, and I know, but I look like this, or I'm from this background, or I, don't do this well, or, I was parent enough. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I was watching him light an entire incense stick on fire, and it was going towards his shirt. So, but even then, born worthy. We are all born worthy. And even if the voices in your head are telling you that you're not, and that everyone would be better off without you, and that if you ask for help, you're a burden, and people are only saying nice things to you because they feel sorry for you. And please believe me, I have heard every single one of these things in my head over and over and over again. And they're not true. And you are worthy. And people want to help you. And they want to hear what you have to say. And when you take a minute and tell them what's on your mind, and you give them the privilege of just sitting and listening and sharing space with you, they're grateful. And they feel privileged that you are willing to share your pain with them. And you are not a burden. And people love you. And I love you. Okay? So no matter where you are in your journey, no matter whether it's in the good place or the bad place or the hard place or the easy place, or be somewhere in between and really strange place, keep going. It's worth it. And you matter. Right? Is it like Vince Lombardi or someone that said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Don't stop. It's hot. I know it's scary. And I know it's lonely, but you're not alone, and you're stronger than you know. So thank you, everyone. It's been a privilege and an honor to share this with you. I will, add more things as they pop into my head, but I think that's all for now. So the world becomes a better place when we all choose love. Start by loving yourself. Be well.